Hi, Genki Call here with your Soulforge offerings for the week of February 5th, 2023. Yeah. Alright, let's go over the legendaries first. We have the Keeper of Souls, which transform all gems of whatever color you want to skulls. This can be great with a skull spamming team because it can help you maintain the turn. Um, he's not used a lot, but he is very, very useful. He's also a necromancer, so extra souls from battle, provided that you have something with you to help you get the extra souls, because otherwise it's just going to be the base. Queen Grapple Pot does damage to all enemies boosted by ally and enemy goblins and gets an extra turn. All allied goblins gain 5 life on 4+ gem matches. No, I never ever use her. Next up we have Saguaro. Does damage to the 2 weakest enemies, gains 10 life and attack. Can be really good in Drifting Sands events where we have medals and badges to boost, and if we're not allowed to use, say, Queen Beatrix that does damage to all enemies, this can be very, very helpful. And Immune to Devour is always a nice thing. Next up, we have Smashed Mouth. Smashed Mouth is another goblin. He does damage to an enemy, knocks them to the back, drains mana from all enemies below them. Normally, you're going to want to hit the first troop if you can, and gets an extra turn. He also bleeds and silences the first enemy if he does skull damage, and skull damage reduction by 25%. So, as far as the legendaries go, I personally do not think that any of them are worth 800 diamonds. The exception would be if you really are dying to use them on a specific team, or if you need them for your power levels in your kingdoms. As far as the mythics go, we've got the Queen of Sin. She's widely considered to be one of the worst mythics in the game. One of the worst, not the worst, but she does true damage to the first 2 enemies, summons Wrath or Lust. I hate using Lust, and then blesses all demon allies. She's just not great. And I do agree that she's not amazing. King Bloodwood, he can be dangerous. He does heavy splash damage to an enemy. That information will show up over here. If you can't remember, just look right there. Uh, Heavy splash damage to an enemy boosted by entangled and bleeding enemies, steals 10 life from all enemies. Even if he's webbed and has a 0 magic, he's still going to do this. He does entangle and bleed a random enemy when matching 4+ gems, making him good to run with, say, Tannenbaum, who does triple skull damage to entangled enemies. And he does have skull damage reduction by 33%. He's not, again, he's not amazing. He's okay. Next up, we have the Scourge of Honor. I really like this troop a lot. He does true damage to all enemies, gains 2 mana back for each cursed or diseased enemy, and he curses and diseases a random enemy when matching 4+ gems. So, you cast him, you get a bunch of your mana back, so the mana cost drops immensely, and also, he explodes a green gem at the start of battle, but he's really nice to run with Queen Beatrix. He's fun to run with Queen Beatrix because they're both wild folk. And so, yeah, that can be fun. Next up we have Darksmith Drenza. No, we don't. Darksmith Drenza is always available in here. My bad. We have Leo. Leo is the last one. I was thinking that wasn't right. Leo is the last one. So, damage to an enemy, gain armor of the same amount, boosted by all enemy magic. So if you're fighting something that's really high level, he's going to hit really hard. But as soon as those enemies start dying, he's not going to do much damage anymore. So you have to really think about tactics when you use this particular troop. You might want to hit the first troop, hit the second troop, not kill things so that you can get that extra damage to them. It's just not worth it in my opinion, but he does have spell damage reduction by 25%, skull damage reduction by 40%, and gives 4 armor to all yellow allies when matching yellow gems. I don't really see anything outstanding in here except for the Scourge of Honor, but the weapons are a different matter. There are some good weapons in here. So we have, this isn't one of them, but it is one of the cheap ones if you need one for your power levels in Suncrest. This one is going to do damage to the first enemy, triple damage if they use purple mana. Could be fun to use on Purple Guild Wars Day for defense. And then, no, that's nothing. Sorry. Just the peaceful means that it's going to silence the first enemy, and light should mean it's going to create a light storm when you cast it, and that feeds right back into itself. Next up, we have one of the really good things, and that is the Nimbus bow. I highly recommend this. There are several in here that are nice, but there are two in particular. First is the Nimbus bow. Damage to an enemy boosted by Strix allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and yellow gems for each Strix ally. You get lots of match 4s, making this amazing to run with triple finesse. So if you like to use the triple finesse teams, this is fantastic for that purpose. Creates a life storm. It self-enchants. It silences the first enemy. It's just a really good weapon for that purpose. And then we have the Plume Staff. I'm using this in the World event. I like it a lot, actually. Damage to an enemy boosted by Suncrest allies, then create a mix of 6 yellow and purple gems for each Suncrest ally. So if you have a team that uses yellow and purple, there are plenty that use yellow and purple. Most of them use yellow, but there are some also that use purple that would go very nicely with this. Then we have the Javelin of Suncrest, another cheapo one. Remove all yellow gems. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by the gems removed. If the enemy is from Suncrest or the battle is in Suncrest, deal double damage. So you won't get any mana from this, but it will deny yellow to your enemies. And pretty sure that this gets an extra turn. So that makes it stand out. It's one of the only two that I know of that get an extra turn that are epics. Next up, we've got the Blade of Morning. Remove all purple gems. Interesting. Just remove, you don't get any mana. Create yellow gems equal to the purple gems removed. Give life to an ally boosted by yellow gems now on the board. And it will cleanse when you cast it. And then we have the Staff of Storms, which I highly recommend because I love this kind of weapon. I must have them all. This one self-enchants when you cast it. It explodes a bunch of yellow gems, random status effect, yada yada, and then summons. I'm really in it for the explosion with these colors. The summons and the status effects are just bonus to me. But I love using this kind of weapon, and it's very good in this event as well. Then we have the Doomed Sigh, which hopefully you already have, because I think this just came out in the Tower of Doom recently. What, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago? Damage to the last enemy boosted by yellow gems. If they have a Doom, deal double damage, and there's a 3% chance to kill them per tempering level. So, you can get up to a 30% chance to insta-kill with this weapon. But you have to be able to level it, and you need Forge Scrolls for that. So there's a downside there, but the rest of these are always here. I feel like I'm forgetting something. What is it? Oh yeah, tomorrow's the Suncrest. No, I'm sorry, Stonesong Eerie weapon. What is that called? Stoneflight. I believe it's called Stoneflight. Hold on a second. Weapon. Yes, this will be in the Forge tomorrow only during the Stonesong Eerie Faction Assault. It will be in the Forge. It will also be in the event shop for the Faction Assault. You can get this with your gems. That is much preferred because gems are so much easier to get. But if you're desperate for the weapon, you can always get it in the Forge tomorrow only as well. So anyway, that is it for the Soulforge video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!